Welcome to the Defense and Aerospace Report. I'm Vagan Radian here at the Gaylord National Harbor Conference Center outside Washington, D.C., where we're covering the Air Force Association's annual Aerospace and Cyber Conference and Trade Show. Our coverage here is sponsored by L3 Technologies and Leonardo DRS. We met earlier today with Mark Lindsley, the Vice President for T-100 programs at Leonardo DRS. Here's our interview. Mark, thanks very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So talk to us a little bit, bring us up to speed on where the program stands right now. We're going to be talking to each one of the companies. Each one of them has their competing aircraft. You guys are really proud of yours and think it's best suited for the mission. Where's the program stand right now?
Well, you know, we've all turned our proposals in. Back in March, we turned in our first set of the proposal. Flight data came later at the end of June. And right now, frankly, we know the Air Force is deep in their source selection, and we're waiting to hear back any feedback and so forth.
Each one of the companies has a case to make. If you talk to analysts, it's actually kind of a wide open competition in many respects because the aircraft are different and each has its own advantages and potential disadvantages. From your standpoint, what are the advantages that you guys are highlighting in your bid?
I think we have a very mature and integrated system. You know, the Air Force is looking for an integrated aircraft, simulators on the ground, talking to each other as you go into the air. The T-100 integrated training system represents exactly that. We're also very mature. The aircraft is right now in use by 4 countries. Overseas, they're flying them. In fact, just last month we hit 32,000 hours in the baseline aircraft, the M346.
And I should say that this is your first interview as you just joined the company from Northrop, where you spearheaded a lot of very important campaigns, and you're the new T-100 guy now at DRS. Let me ask you about the twin engine capability. If you look at it historically, the United States Air Force has looked at twin engine aircraft as key for that advanced trainer, in part because of systems complexity. The notion that you have twin engines, your mind has to wrap itself around the aircraft in a different way. Has the Air Force at all, because if you talk to T-38 guys, they like the idea that it's a twin engine jet. Has the Air Force specified any preference whether or not 2 engines is a liability or an advantage?
They really haven't talked about that. We think that there's definitely an advantage. When you have a student pilot that's up flying, having that backup capability of a second engine, there's no doubt that's always a help. And as you said, you know, the forcing the pilot to think about the complexities, I've lost an engine, now I have to fly single engine and so forth, definitely an advantage there in how you're teaching the young pilot to think.
You guys have highlighted the folks have a tendency of thinking this is going to be a cost shootout ultimately, but you guys have also highlighted sort of lower operating costs that you have with your product. But is the Air Force giving any weighting or scoring to that at all? I mean, there are those who say that, hey, look, that may be an advantage, but not if you're not going to get any points for delivering. What
the Air Force is really looking for, and there's no doubt about it, is they want low risk. They want a mature weapon system, and then they'll take a look at the cost. When you look at the criteria they're looking at, that's really their priorities. And this T-100 at our system is definitely the most mature. We're being used by those 4 countries. We're out there flying. We're integrated. We have a big advantage over our competition in the sense that if we're fortunate enough to win, we're ready to start making those airplanes. Get that integrated system out, go right through EMD and into early production.
One of the challenges, though, is replicating an assembly line here in the United States. The aircraft are produced in Italy right now on a hot production line. Does that present any challenges, and is there a concern that there can be a cost increase in the replication of that capability here?
Actually, you know, I was just down in Tuskegee where we're going to build our factory this week. And looking at the layout, looking at the plan, I think it's actually an advantage. You take advantage of the mature production line that we have over in Italy, you transfer that to the United States, improve the automation, improve the production techniques, and I think we can actually lower costs by bringing it here to the United States.
And that's an investment that the company's willing to make?
Absolutely, a big investment on the part of our company that's definitely out there.
Mark, thanks very much. We look forward to staying in touch with you, and best of luck on the program.
Well, thanks very much. Look forward to seeing you at our win party.